So let's talk about, of course, this wide receiver room. That's the talk of the town. The wide receiver room in Green Bay in this post-Davante Adams era. How are they going to look? How are they going to play? All of that kind of stuff. First and foremost, we've got to talk about the new number one guy in the room, and that is going to be Allen Lazard. And Allen Lazard is seeming like he's coming along on his own as a number one receiver in this offense. I like Allen Lazard. I've always liked him in Green Bay. Thought he's been very underrated. A big, in the trenches, do-it-all type of wide receiver. A tremendous, run-blocking wide receiver. And at times, he's made plays, as a wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. And ultimately, him being healthy, him being on the field can be productive. Last year, only played in 15 games, but still had 500 yards and 8 touchdowns. He's been reliable in the touchdown department. 3 touchdowns last year, made a big jump into 8 touchdowns in 2021. So he's continually progressed since coming into this Packers offense in 2018. He's continuously got better, and there's a lot of high hopes for him being the number one guy within this offense, and I feel like he can do that. I have a lot of trust and a lot of faith in Allen Lazard holding his own as the number one receiver. He's easily going to get a bulk of the targets in Green Bay from week 1 throughout week 18. He's going to probably be the number one guy in the receiving categories for this team this season. Behind him, of course, is going to be Rodgers' best friend, and next man up is Rodgers' best friend in Randall Cobb, longtime Green Bay Packer, do-it-all guy as well for the Packers. Cobb's starting. You talk about in the X, you have Allen Lazard. In the slot, you're going to have Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb's going to be your third down slot guy. Last year, dealt with a little bit of his fair share of injuries and, missed some time last year. He's getting up there in age, been more of a, veteran, presence in the locker room and on the field for the Packers with this young core that they have in this position, in this wide receiver room. But Cobb is still going to be that reliable target day in and day out for Aaron Rodgers. When he needs to make a play, when he needs to move some sticks, he's going to look for Randall Cobb within this offense. And then, the number 3 in the Packers wide receiver room, and, probably going to be the Z wide receiver of this Packers offense will be Sammy Watkins, who came in during the offseason. A big thing tonight to look for, with the Green Bay Packers and Matt LaFleur saying he's not going to play the starters tonight at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara against the 49ers. I'm watching out for Sammy Watkins. If Sammy Watkins does not play tonight, that's going to be very telling of how he's going to be within this offense. If he does not play, it's clear they view him as a starter and view him as a lock to make the Week 1 roster. So I'm excited to see Sammy Watkins actually not play. I want to see Sammy Watkins not take the field today. I think will be very telling from this Packers offense that they try to put out tonight against the San Francisco 49ers. But Sammy Watkins, same way, dealt with his fair share of injuries. When he's on the field, he's back, hopefully with some guys that he was with in Buffalo, on the coaching staff in Green Bay. Has a little bit of connection back to his early rookie days in Buffalo. Maybe they can try to revitalize him in this offense with Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to him. And hopefully he can be the deep threat in this offense. Bank on a big Week 1 game against the Minnesota Vikings out of Sammy Watkins. Expect him to have a big game in the first game for the Packers. He's always due for one. Fantasy football fans know what Sammy Watkins can do in Week 1. So fire up the Sammy Watkins train in Week 1. So those are the top 3 guys. Now we got to talk about the rookies. The rookies are the big ones here. So we talked about Christian Watson, the second-round pick out of North Dakota State. We haven't seen much out of him. Like I said, dealing with a knee surgery. We're hoping to see him back at practice next week, is what the reports were saying, out of Green Bay. So probably not a Week 2 preseason start for Christian Watson, but maybe preseason Week 3. We see Watson hopefully get some action in that one. I think first and foremost, we want him back at practice. And the other guy who has absolutely captivated headlines in Green Bay all offseason long and all training camp long has been Romeo Doubs out of Nevada. The 4th-round pick out of Nevada has absolutely captured it, all of the attention in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has had high praise about him. The local media has had high praise about him. Jair Alexander has had high praise about him going up against him in practice. He had a great practice last Friday, a week ago at Family Night. Made some big plays. He's made plays in practice against Eric Stokes, who held down the fort last year at this cornerback room in Green Bay. Romeo Doubs has really impressed a lot of people. And we'll pull up here what Aaron Rodgers had to say about Romeo Doubs once he finally arrived at training camp. So we're gonna pull this up here. This from Aaron Rodgers discussing Romeo Doubs and what he has been able to do so far in this Packers wide receiver room.
The start to camp that Romeo was at.
No, it's never been too big for him. I really like the approach. He's a very humble kid, but you're starting to see the personality come out a little bit, which is fun to see. He's had a lot of opportunities, which has been great. With Sammy not practicing a couple days and obviously Christian being out, a lot of opportunities for him. He's made the most of it. I thought, it's not just the team stuff. I thought he ran good routes yesterday in the one-on-ones against Stokes. And, it's just a matter of the mental stuff. He's still making some mental mistakes, but you expect those. It's the approach, though, and his release patterns. He gets the ball with his hands. He's, every single day, you guys know, you've been watching, there's been at least one kind of wow play from him, and that's kind of rare for a young guy like that. Now, we've had some guys over the years kind of do that, but, they're all in the top 10, I think, in the Packers receiving history, So
that's what we have from Aaron Rodgers discussing Romeo Doubs. Again, rookie 4th rounder out of Nevada. He's done some big things. You said it there, and now they're getting Sammy Watkins back at practice. This was back on August 4th. Thank you to Peter Bukowski posting that video, co-founder of The Leap and host of Locked On Packers. So appreciate that. That's what we have with this Packers wide receiver room. Maybe a little splash of Amari Rodgers here and there. Hopefully get him more involved in these special teams consistently, I think would be the big thing for Amari Rodgers if he's able to make the roster. But that's the guys we have really making the headlines at this wide receiver position.